Hello and welcome to Cybersoul. I'm Cheryl Gosa. My guest today is Robert Bauer, who is president of Intuitive Sound Productions here in Atlanta, and he's coming to talk to us about music in this new technology, because there's a difference between digital and acoustic music and how we perceive this. What makes intuitive sound different? Tell us about intuitive sound.
Intuitive sound is a birth of a dream, an idea, a desire to explore and experience music and sound in the way that it affects all of us, in the way that we experience it and enjoy it. And been very fortunate to be here in this time of the technology revolution, evolution, and so forth, and being able to take advantage of it. My two partners and I have created an independent artist-owned label that allows us to not have any of the constraints and confines of the typical corporate situations that you see in the music industry and in all industries for the most part. And that's allowed us to have the freedom to explore and express and experience that music. Any art, whether it's sound or music, or paintings or sculptures or anything like that, is that art is a very subjective thing. The expression of art, of the artistic part of each of us, I think is really what is key to the creation and being able to manifest it. And then that individual understanding that each of us have is what makes it very subjective. But as I have evolved as a person and grown and learned more, I'm now at a point where I really appreciate things that I didn't quite understand or wasn't able to resonate with at an earlier time when I might have been first exposed to it. And it really gets down to, for me, what is the quality of the production? What is the quality of the performance? Those things are the kinds of areas that people really need to understand and search for themselves. Do I resonate with this? Do I feel what I'm trying to experience or what they're trying to share with me? I think that one of the great things that's happened, and this is as a part of the technology evolution, and we've all seen this plethora and just incredible quantum leaps and capabilities and ideas, and not only invention but innovation on existing inventions. And for me and for us in Intuitive Sound and what we explore and experience, there's just way too many toys and too much fun to have. One of the things I think is also very interesting, as we've passed into this new millennium, we have, everybody looking back at the last millennium and more particularly this last century of all the wonderful inventions and the things that have happened. And you hear these top lists, what was the greatest invention, who were the greatest people, all these good things. One of the things I think is really overlooked and not given the credit that it's due is what Alexander Graham Bell did by inventing recording. Because if he hadn't done that, somebody eventually would have, but we wouldn't have been able to share and experience and listen to music and sound in the way that we do today. Prior to that, the only way you could hear music is if somebody sat down and played it. It was always a live event. Mm-hmm. You resonate with something. Sound and music obviously has a vibratory nature. We wouldn't experience it in the way that we do. And that vibratory nature, I think, is one of the things that people don't really appreciate and understand as much as they should, because we are vibratory beings, right? We're made of energy. We have our own natural vibrations that we each individually have as well as have collectively with the universe around us. Sound and music are manifestations of that. And we actually believe that and that's one of the reasons we named it Intuitive Sound, is that sound and music can be a vehicle for that intuitive voice. It can be both a vehicle of the voice to your intuitive self as well as from your intuitive self. So you can express through sound and music and have a real subtle connection with that little tiny voice that's inside. Well, for me, I think everybody makes music all the time and they just don't look at it that way or realize that they are. When you speak, when you have a conversation with somebody like we're having here, I would consider this making music, this making sound and vibrations that have an ebb and a flow and a certain feel to them. Your natural vibratory state, the energy that you are, we're electrical beings. I mean, we have this vibration going on. We're making music by the moods we're in. When you're in a joyous mood, you feel a certain vibration. You feel really good. And when you're in a sad mood, you feel that as well. For me, and as I said, when I would rather be a musical note looking for a place to play, I find myself in a state of always being in a musical or a vibratory feel. I like a flow and a movement that feels natural to me. The human voice is the oldest instrument in the world, and it's the purest. And being able to create sound and notes and things, again, just by speaking, you're creating a sound, you're creating a note. And it's a wonderful thing, and I think more people need to allow themselves to be involved and to experience the sound and the music that's within them, and instead of always depending on other people to do that for them. And again, that's one of the great advantages of this digital revolution that's occurred. We now have access to things that people have been doing for millennia. We just didn't know it because we didn't stop by and hear it, or they didn't have the means to produce it in a way that we could have access to it.
Like those old-timey records at the Smithsonian.
Exactly, exactly. I'm always looking for something more and new, something that someone hasn't done before, something that I haven't experienced before sonically. The combination of the technology, providing the access, the ability to go record and reproduce and replicate a performance of somebody doing music in East Africa or in Somalia or somewhere in the Middle East or in Asia. Now people have the ability to listen to that and go, wow, I never knew that somebody could do that, or that even existed. I could put a didgeridoo with an electric guitar and some voices and that African drum, and wow, what a sound I could make. And I think that's one of the great things in the music industry, not the industry itself, but just in musicians in general. Musicians are truly world citizens, if you will. People that are experiencing music and have some way to express their own internal expression of music and manifest that don't have a lot of political hang-ups or social hang-ups in that sense. I think that music is the one universal language that we all speak, and it's the one thing that we can all relate to. Everybody likes music in some way, shape, or form.
Right, one kind or another.
Right? So to me, it is really the true universal language. And so I think that's what's helped us experience this explosion of accessibility to world music, not the advent of it, because it's always been there.
Right.